Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Neha Singhal, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Admissions for our portfolio of executive degree programs at NYU Stern, which includes our Executive MBA program in Washington, D.C. My goal today is to tell you more about our Executive MBA program in Washington, D.C., and what makes it unique and different from other options you might be considering, and also to answer any questions that you might have about the program so that you can really understand whether the program is a good fit for you and where you are at this point in your career. So with that, let's get started. Actually, before I get started, I also wanted to mention I will save time towards the end of our session to answer any questions that you might have. So feel free to submit questions through the Q&A feature or through the chat feature, and I will get to those questions at the end of our session today. So let's get started. So we launched our Executive MBA program in Washington, D.C. in 2018. We have a centrally located NYU DC Academic Center, and we thought that this was a great opportunity for us to translate our Executive MBA program in New York to the DC market. As you all know, NYU Stern is a global leader in business education, and we had an expansive alumni group already in DC. So we wanted to continue to build that network. The DC program offers a convenient once-a-month format, which appeals to the local students we have in DC, as well as traveling students. In fact, about 30% of our cohort does travel from far away for the DC program. We have a once-a-month format, so classes take place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Our program has evolved since we launched in DC several years ago, and this has been based on feedback from students, staff, and our faculty. We've integrated new courses into the curriculum, increased the number of electives that we offer, as well as the number of specializations that we offer. And these have been changes that we've made over time to the program, again, based on feedback from our students, faculty, always looking to make the program better. For example, one thing that we did is we recently launched a second-year global immersion experience. So this is a trip that students take in year 2 of the program to study an international market outside of the US. Our program is also unique in that you have a very close-knit cohort experience on class weekends. We have about 40 students in our cohort, which enables you to build deep relationships within the cohort itself, as well as still having access to the broader NYU Stern network and community. In 2023, we celebrated our 5-year anniversary for the DC program, and we're excited to continue bringing in new cohorts for this program as well to help grow the community. So what does the Executive MBA program in DC look like? The Executive MBA program is really unique in that it allows experienced professionals to pursue an MBA program while working full-time in a cohort-based format. Our program in DC starts each year in August, and it takes less than 2 years to complete. So in about the same amount of time that it would take you to complete a full-time MBA program, you can complete our Executive MBA program while also working full-time. Our classes follow a structured modular format, so once a month, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday classes. There's also 3 required one-week residencies during the program. The Executive MBA program kicks off each year with a one-week domestic residency, what we call our orientation residency. It's held in the suburbs of New York City, and the great thing is that it overlaps with the residency for our Executive MBA students in New York. So you have the ability to develop relationships, not just with your cohort in DC, but across the New York cohort as well. Classes are taken with your DC cohort during that residency, but you have networking opportunities to really broaden your network during that week. I'll speak more about these residencies a little bit later during our session. One of the great things when students complete the Executive MBA program is that you earn an MBA in General Management. And this is the same degree that our full-time MBA students earn, as well as our part-time MBA students. So it's not a diluted or watered down version of the degree. It's the full MBA in General Management from NYU Stern. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an overview of the program. Now let's delve into the format of the program. So we know that all of you have busy professional and personal lives. And so our executive MBA program in DC offers an immersive on-campus experience in a once-a-month format that's hopefully more manageable for busy executives. Our program is small, as I mentioned, about 40 students in a cohort. So it offers a more intimate setting so that you can develop these deep relationships with students as well as the faculty who are teaching in the program. Core courses are offered with your full cohort. So you have about 40 students in your core courses. But then in year 2, where you move on to elective offerings, which I'll describe in more detail later on, those courses in your second year can range from 10 to 30 students. So this really enables you to engage more deeply on topics and more deeply in the discussions in the classroom. In terms of the faculty who are teaching in the program, our Stern faculty from New York actually travel down to DC to teach in the EMBA DC program. And this ensures that we have the same rigor around academics and learnings across the EMBA New York and DC programs. However, given the smaller cohort size, I think in DC, our faculty are more within reach of students. They're usually available on campus after classes, they have lunch with students, and this really enables you to build those strong, long-lasting connections with key thought leaders in a number of different fields. The once-a-month format also gives our students greater flexibility in terms of completing coursework between class weekends. So on average, our students say they spend about 10 to 20 hours a week on assignments, projects, and readings outside of the class weekends themselves. With this once-a-month format, you just have more flexibility around how you can complete those assignments and deliverables. You know, if work requires you to take a week off, you still have another couple of weeks to make up those assignments that you weren't able to keep up with. So it just allows you to kind of work around other commitments that you might have. Finally, the monthly class weekends also enable us to have broader geographic diversity in the cohort so that you can build a broader network that spans obviously across DC, but well beyond that across the nation. So we have students in the DC program who come from all across the US. In fact, about 30% of the class travels from over 20 miles away to campus for class weekends. If you are one of these out-of-town students, NYU Stern does provide complimentary accommodations, which are arranged by our team for any students traveling from over 20 miles away. For everyone else, the DC campus is located very centrally, and it's very easy for commuters to get there from airports, train stations, etc. So what does a typical class day look like for one of our executive MBA students? So we know that your schedule is already packed. You have demanding full-time jobs, a personal life, and now you're adding an executive MBA program to the mix. So we structure the program to really help you manage that balancing act. We ask students to focus on 2 courses at a time on a typical class weekend. This allows you to really focus on those 2 subjects at hand, master them, and then you move on to the next set of subjects, building on what you've already learned. So the schedule that you see here on the screen represents a typical day in the life of an executive MBA student. It could be a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday in the program. Classes take place from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So you can see that the day starts with an optional breakfast, but classes start at 9. You have a break in the middle of the first class, then lunch, second class with an afternoon break, and then you complete your classes around 4:30. Sometimes there are evening events, which are mostly optional. There's networking opportunities, speakers who we bring to campus, alumni events, etc. So oftentimes some of your evenings get pulled into the program as well with executive MBA activities. So academic excellence is really at the cornerstone of our NYU Stern Executive MBA program. Our curriculum is designed to give you a strong foundation in key areas of business, but also give you the opportunity to delve deeper into areas that are of interest to you. So the first year of the program focuses on what we call the core curriculum. It provides a strong foundation in key areas of business like management, marketing, accounting, stats, strategy, to really round out your skill set and make sure that you have those fundamentals to be a successful business leader down the line. The core is covered in the first year of the program. And then in the second year of the program, you move into what we call our electives curriculum. This gives you the opportunity to build on the foundation that you developed in the core curriculum, but go deeper into advanced topics in areas that are of interest to you or that are tied closely to your career goals. Through the electives, you can declare up to 3 different specializations. So to declare a specialization, you need to earn about 9 credits in a particular area. And the specializations are more functionally focused than industry focused. So they can be applied to almost any role or function. Here on the slide, we have some popular specializations that we offer at NYU in DC for our executive MBA program in DC. Your decision to pursue specializations is completely flexible. They are optional, so some students choose not to pursue a specialization, and some students choose to pursue the maximum number of specializations. This is totally up to you. But it's a great way to customize the degree to make sure that you are meeting your professional needs. Another part of our curriculum is what we call the Global Immersion Experience, or GIE. So all students embark on a Global Immersion Experience, which is an international residency, which provides our students with exposure to another market outside of the US. All students travel to one Global Immersion Experience with their entire cohort, and it is part of the core. It's a required 4-credit course that's led by a faculty member. So these GIEs are really designed to provide you with engagement with the world of business beyond the classroom. So during the GIEs, students explore the business culture of another dynamic market, and there's really a full range of markets that we can go to. It can be markets that are really thriving and successful to markets that are really struggling. And the whole study behind the global immersion experiences is to really take the frameworks and the concepts and the discussions that you've had in the classroom and apply them to very new and different settings. So on these global immersion experiences, our students visit with key business leaders and representatives from different industries, from financial services to manufacturing to consumer products. You may also interact with government leaders or members of the diplomatic community. So again, the GIEs are really a vehicle to take the concepts and frameworks from the classroom and apply them to explain what's happening in a new and very different type of market. Another great thing about the global immersion experiences is that it really provides an important shared experience with your cohort as well. And from all of the students that I speak with, the global immersion experience is really a highlight of their executive MBA journey and really enables them to build some really strong and deep connections with the cohort as you're all traveling together that week. So now that you've heard a little bit about the curriculum for our program, let me talk about the faculty who really bring this curriculum to life. Stern has one of the largest and best faculties in the world. They're experts in their field who consult with top companies. They work with international organizations. Many of them have even launched their own businesses. So the faculty teach specific skill sets, but also provide that broader perspective on the role of business. Our faculty do a great job of emphasizing the practical impact and the big picture surrounding some of the concepts that they're teaching in the classroom. The great thing about the faculty who teach in the executive MBA program is that they're drawn from the same faculty who teach in our NYU Stern programs in New York, so our full-time, part-time, and executive MBA programs. But they're also especially selected and invited to teach based on their experience level and their ability to teach a more executive level cohort. So we really bring in the best faculty to teach in the executive MBA program. If you are interested in viewing a list of our current faculty in the program, that is available on our website. You can look at the faculty teaching and read information from their bios. Again, I would say one of the great things about our faculty for the executive MBA program is that they're really teaching with a perspective to bring real-time application of skills into the classroom. So we really hope that things that you're learning Friday through Sunday on a class weekend, they're things that are applicable to the work that you're doing on Monday morning. And they're things that you can take back with you to your organization and really see tangible results from some of your learnings. So we talked about the global immersion experience as one of the residencies in the program, but our executive MBA students in DC also participate in a few other special residencies and class weekend experiences as part of the program. And these are really, again, designed to help foster connections with the cohort, as well as other students across the executive MBA program. So the first residency is a domestic residency right at the start of the program. We call it the orientation residency, and it's held in the suburbs of New York City and overlaps with the residency for executive MBA students in New York. Classes would be taken with the DC cohort to really establish those relationships and build those connections. But then there's networking activities that take place that week to build relationships beyond the DC cohort with the New York City cohort as well. The second domestic residency for our program takes place in the beginning of the second year of the program to really immerse students in the experience once again and jumpstart the rigorous academic curriculum for year 2 of the program. For both of these residencies, accommodations are provided by the program team, regardless of where you live. So whether you live in DC or you're traveling from far away, we provide accommodations for all students for these 2 residencies so that you can really immerse yourself in the experience and focus on the academic aspects as well as the community building aspects of the residency. One of the other great things about the program is that the DC students also spend 2 class weekends up in New York, once in the first year of the program and once in the second year of the program. One of your class weekends actually takes place at NYU Stern in New York City. These class weekends are designed to continue, of course, your academic journey in the program, but it allows you to also further your connections with EMBA New York students. You will be taking classes again with just your DC cohort, but there's networking events and joint events that take place across the New York and DC cohorts to build those broader relationships across the executive MBA community. Just as an example, when our students from DC were up in New York last, we had an event that was hosted by our careers team at NYU Stern, as well as some events that were focused on gaining more exposure to different centers and institutes at NYU that are located in New York. And so this was great exposure for our DC students to learn more about those resources. However, as an NYU Stern executive MBA students, please note that you always have access to the NYU Stern campus in New York and to Stern-wide events, clubs, and activities. But again, these class weekends really help facilitate those connections for our DC students. So I hope you're excited about the program and now wondering about what the cohort looks like and how you fit in with the cohort. So as I mentioned earlier, our executive MBA program in DC is a very small, close-knit community within the larger NYU Stern community and ecosystem. So although our cohort size is small, it's actually extremely diverse. On average, our students come in with about 12 years of work experience across a range of industries and functional areas. About 30% of the class comes in with an advanced degree, meaning that we have individuals who have master's degrees and PhDs in various technical areas, as well as individuals who have professional degrees, doctors, lawyers in the cohort as well, who are looking to build out their professional skill set. About a third of the class consists of women and underrepresented groups, which is a number that we're very proud of, as we're above the average for executive MBA programs, but also a number that we're always looking to improve upon. About a quarter of the class also has an international background, meaning that they've lived or worked abroad for a significant portion of time. The faculty are really there to ensure that the classroom discussion reflects these very diverse perspectives that we have in the classroom, and that each person is really able to share how different discussions in the classroom apply to their industry, their functional role, or the experiences that they've had within their organization. This slide also shows the typical industry breakdown of our class. As you can see, about a quarter of the class comes from government, military, nonprofit, or education backgrounds. Given that this program is in DC, that industry makes up a big chunk of the class, but we have a great representation across a range of other industries: consulting, financial services, healthcare, telecom. So you do see a broad mix of perspectives in the classroom. One of the things that we do is to really enhance the diversity of the perspectives that you're learning from in the classroom. Our executive MBA team creates what we call study groups. So these are cross-functional and cross-industry teams that we bring together. We have representatives who have different skill sets and backgrounds based on their career paths. And this is really designed to be your support system going through the executive MBA program. We hope for any area where you might not have as much experience or expertise, there's someone in the study group who can really support you. And then vice versa. There's going to be areas and strengths that you bring to your study group where the rest of the team might really rely on you for guidance in those areas. So of course, part of coming into the program and bringing you into the program is that we want all of our students to succeed and have resources available to them as students, as well as well beyond the program. And so Stern is a truly collaborative community, and I would say collaboration is really at the essence of a lot of what we do. Our community supports you while you're going through the program, but it's also a community that you're joining for the rest of your life. And we have a dedicated student services team while you're in the program to provide you with a high level of service for any needs that you have while you're going through the executive MBA experience. They get to know you personally. They're available to answer any questions that you might have. They try to manage a lot of the logistics of the program so that you can really focus on the academic journey that you're having. So just as an example, before any classes start, our student services team will purchase and deliver your books to you so that you don't have to worry about going to the bookstore or finding the right materials. All of that is done for you so that the time that you do have, you can really focus on preparing for classes and coursework. They also send you emails before class weekends, letting you know what's coming up so that you can plan your schedule accordingly. They provide breakfast, lunch, and snacks on class days. So they're really there and available on class weekends as well as outside of the class weekends to really make sure that they're supporting you on your academic journey. As an executive MBA student, you also have access to Stern-wide affinity groups and special interest groups, different events that are available to Stern students, as well as conferences that might be held on campus. We also have specific executive MBA clubs that are designed especially for executive MBA students and are run by executive MBA students. So we currently have 3 executive MBA student focus clubs. We have the Black Executive MBA and Allies, FEMBA, which is Female Executive MBAs, and the Blockchain and Digital Asset Forum. We're always looking for students who want to start new clubs based on their passions and interests, and we have had cohorts start new clubs while they've gone through their executive MBA journey. As an alum of the Executive MBA program, you also are a part of the NYU Stern Alumni Network, which is over 110,000 Stern alumni located across the globe. All alumni can join what we call the Stern Success Network, which is an online directory for all of our alumni. And through the Stern Success Network, you of course have access to these alumni, as well as to resume postings, career resources, and networking opportunities as well. Finally, as an executive MBA alum, and as the Stern alum, actually, you can take advantage of our lifelong educational opportunities at Stern. All Stern alumni are eligible for 2 tuition-free executive certificate courses per academic year. So this is a great resource that's available to you well beyond the executive MBA program to allow you to continue to refresh your skill sets and stay on top of new innovations, trends, et cetera, in the business space. So we know that a lot of students come into the executive MBA program, of course, to enhance their knowledge of business, but also to equip themselves with the tools that they need to take the next step in their career. And we have a great group called the Working Professionals team in our career. Office that is dedicated to helping long-term career plans. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I think my Zoom timed out. I hope everyone is back on and can hear me. Please let me know in the chat if you're having any issues with the audio or video. So let me start with this slide again. So we have a great professional development resource. It's the Working Professionals team in our careers office, and they're dedicated to helping our executive MBA students achieve their long-term goals. We know these goals can be very diverse, from advancing in your current role to making some kind of career pivot into a new industry or functional area, to maybe even starting a new business. And we have career coaches on the Working Professionals team who can really have one-on-one strategy sessions with you to help you identify what those goals are, help you fine-tune your resume, help you with your interview skills, developing your pitch, utilizing the Stern Alumni Network, and many other things that can help you get to that next step in your career. There's also a range of online tools and resources that are available to our Stern students and alumni. And they're available around the clock through what we call the Executive MBA Career Resource Hub. The great thing about our career services offerings is that they're available to you as a student as well as for the rest of your life as an alum. You can always come back and meet with our career coaches, set up a strategy session, because we know that all students are not going to have a career transition while they're in the program. This is something that can happen many years out of the program, and even students who have career transitions early on will continue to have career transitions at later points in their career. In terms of access to career coaching, it begins on day one, right when you start the Executive MBA program, and again, continues long-term as an alum. Students and alumni, they are able to develop a customized career strategy with their career coach. And again, these are through one-on-one meetings that can be delivered in person or via Zoom. They're very flexible in format. We also have different events to help you support your career journey as well. Our Executive MBA team will put on industry panels, which allow you to network with the broader community. We've had recent panels focused on management consulting, hedge funds, private equity, digital marketing. So really a wide range of areas that our students might be interested in. We also have panels on topics that are just very top of mind for our executive MBA students. We've had lunch and learns on things like building your brand, coming up with a short pitch for yourself. So really things that are professional development focused, but very relevant for our executive MBA students. So in terms of tuition, our tuition for the Executive MBA program in Washington, D.C. is currently $191,000. This covers the full 2-year program, but this is the tuition for the class that started last August, so August of 2024. We will have an updated tuition number for the class that starts in August 2025. That tuition number is usually released in the summer, and tuition usually goes up anywhere from 2 to 5% year over year. In terms of what's covered in this tuition, Everything is covered during your 2-year executive MBA journey: books, materials, the global immersion experiences, residencies, etc. Meals are provided on class days, so breakfast and lunch is offered on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays when you're on campus. We also have our dedicated student support team, alumni benefits, as well as hotel accommodations, which are based on the distance from your home to campus, so how far you're traveling in for the program. I will add that in terms of what is not covered, the only items that are not covered in the tuition are airfare from home to your global immersion destination, as well as the return airfare, as well as any visa fees or incidentals that you might incur on the global immersion. So I know cost is an important factor to consider when you're looking at the program. So I wanted to just walk through a few different avenues that can provide some financial support as you're thinking about the program. First of all, Stern has a great financial aid team, which is dedicated to our Stern graduate students, and they're really there to help answer any questions, to help you figure out how to finance the executive MBA program. You can reach out to them actually at any point in time, even before you apply to the program, and they can walk you through different loan options that might be available to you to help with financing the program. If you are a US citizen or permanent resident, I recommend that you start taking a look at the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. That is usually the first resource that our financial aid team points to in terms of financing options for the program. We also do have a range of scholarships available for the program as well. Our scholarships are merit-based, and they do provide some support towards the tuition for the program. So they're partial, but we don't have any full or half tuition scholarships. Our scholarships are typically around $2,000 to $15,000, so they are significant, but they don't cover a large percentage of the program costs. If you are interested in applying for a scholarship, make sure that you check the box in the application saying that you're interested in being considered for a scholarship, and you will then be reviewed for a scholarship by the admissions committee when they're reviewing your application. And then finally, just have a link up here for our graduate financial aid office. So if you're interested in just looking at the information that they have available or setting up a time to speak with them, feel free to check on that website and get their contact information. So I hope you're excited about the program and are really thinking about, okay, what are the steps in the application process? So our process is really designed to be straightforward, but also very personal. We follow a holistic approach, so there's no one part of the application that will make or break your candidacy. We recommend that you focus on your entire story as you're thinking through the application process. So let me walk you through our two-step process. The first step is what we call the pre-assessment, which is a way for you to just raise your hand and tell us that you're interested in the program. There's no fee for the pre-assessment. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. And in the pre-assessment, what you're doing is just uploading your resume. And we're reviewing it to make sure that you meet our prerequisites, which is that you have a bachelor's degree or equivalent, and that you have a minimum of 6 years of full-time work experience. Once we review your pre-assessment, we'll reach out to you to clear you for the next step in our process, which is the formal application. The formal application is the much broader application that you would usually think of when you're thinking about applying to the program. So it consists of 2 essays. We require transcripts from any institution where you've earned a degree. We require 2 letters of recommendation. One should be from a current supervisor, and the other can be from someone that you've worked with professionally in your current role or past role that you might have had. We do require an interview with a member of the admissions committee as part of our interview process. And this is because, again, our cohorts are small. The cohort experience is really dependent on what each person is bringing into the classroom. And so the interview is designed to learn more about you as a candidate, but to also gauge your fit with the program and the NYU Stern community. We do have some optional aspects of our application as well. There's a sponsorship form, which can be used as a tool to start the discussion around the program and you attending the program with your employer. So this is a tool that's there for you to use, but it is not a required portion of the application. And all standardized test scores, so GMAT, GRE, executive assessment, they are optional. We do not require it as part of our admissions process. What we do instead is look at past degrees, certifications, and professional roles that you've had to measure academic preparedness for the program. And so we don't require those test scores. Finally, we do have an application fee for the program as well. But if you reach out to our team, we're happy to waive that fee so that you can move forward with the admissions process. So in terms of how our process works, we do have posted application deadlines for the Executive MBA program in Washington, D.C. March 1st is our first deadline, and May 15th is our final deadline for the program. However, we have a process that we call rolling admissions, which means that we're always accepting and reviewing applications. So although we have these deadlines posted, as soon as your application becomes complete, our team starts reviewing the application and we get back to you in about a month with a decision on the application. So if you wanted to get a head start and submit your application on February 1st, you could submit your application February 1st and you would hear back from us by March 1st with a decision on your application. I hope this got you interested in the program. We do have some upcoming events coming up later this spring. Those dates have not been posted yet, but please check our website and we will have some alumni and student panels posted, as well as some in-person events in DC coming up as well. And we'd love to have you on campus to meet our staff and the students who are in the program. We also have some upcoming in-person interviews in DC in February. If you are interested in coming on campus to complete an interview, I encourage you to complete a pre-assessment for the program, and then we'll reach out to you to try to get an in-person interview scheduled. So I hope this session was helpful for you. If you do have any questions after we sign off, feel free to reach out to our team. We have on this slide